Welcome back to the Weekly Grind with Bean. This week we have multiple events going on, but first I wanted to talk a bit about the changes coming to Delves for Season 2. As you may have heard already, in Season 2, Tier 11 Delves will now reward you with Gilded Crests. In Season 1, you could only get Gilded Crests from Delves when using a Delver's Bounty map. I've actually talked about this in previous weekly grinds, but the problem with this is in the first season that Delver's Bounty maps dropped completely randomly. There would be times where I would get 2 in a row, and there'd be times where I'd go weeks without seeing another one. Even when you did use one, all you got was about 3 or so Gilded Crests, which is really just an unreliable source of gear and Gilded Crests. They are thankfully addressing this in Season 2 by making it so that each delve you run increases your chance of getting a Delver's Bounty map to drop. To keep this from being too powerful, they are also capping the amount of Delver's Bounty maps you can receive each week to 1. I think this change feels fair, as I like to split my time between Delves, Mythic Plus, and raiding, so the cap does not incentivize any crazy grinding of Delves since it already feels like 8 a week is kind of enough. As for Gilded Crest from Tier 11 Delves, you can get Gilded Crest 3 times a week from Bountiful Delves. Now, according to the Blue Post, even though this is from running a Bountiful Delve, you will not actually need a coffer key to open this stash, as they'll drop from their own chest. I think it's great that Blizzard is treating Delves as a serious endgame pillar here, and continuing to adjust it so that they provide rewards that match up with other endgame activities. Besides the Gilded Crests, Tiers 9, 10, and 11 will also now earn you more Rune Crests as you push higher. This is a nice change from Season 1, where Tier 8 gave you the highest rewards possible, so there was really not much incentive to keep pushing beyond that point, except for the challenge, really. One thing that is remaining the same is how the Great Vault will work with Delves. You'll still unlock the Great Vault slots at 2, 4, and 8 Delves completed, and Tier 8 will still be your goal for getting your strongest possible Vault rewards. Blizzard has also shared with us a bunch of other details on Season 2 Delves, so I'll quickly run through them. Delve tier difficulty will be reset down to Tier 4, so we'll need to reprogress from Tier 4 back up to the top again. I assume this similar to Season 1, after a certain point, Bran will only receive XP from completing Bountiful Delves, so we'll see. Bran will retain his level from Season 1, and will have a new max level of 80 for Season 2. They'll also be increasing Bran's XP gains up to level 60, so there's a nice little catch-up mechanic for new players and people that didn't get to 60 before the end of Season 1. And in addition to the 2 new delves, every old delve will also be getting some new story variants. And we did get a look, finally, at the new seasonal delve boss, the Underpin. This is a goblin henchman who will get his own solo encounter just like Zekvir, as well as occasionally pop up in other delves to spice things up, I would assume. And don't forget about the special delve mount appearance we can earn from beating him on the question mark difficulty. With the new season, we'll be getting new curios to collect and power up, along with new powers that can be found and used in the delves. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of new things to experience with delves in Season 2. I did jump into the Side Street Sluice delve in the PTR and disrupted some goblins who were stealing gold for some elemental shenanigans. And I also tried out brand tanking. I did play with my prot pally, so it may not have been the best character to test it out on, but Bran was definitely taunting and pulling aggro, so this may be something that works out great for healers and squishier classes. It's pretty hard to judge though this early in the PTR though, because Delve's difficulty were kind of all over the place in Season 1. But maybe now that they've got Season 1 under their belt, they have enough data and feedback to start off a little more stable maybe. Next up, this is Week 3 out of 7 for the Turbulent Timeways event, and we get to play in Legion dungeons this week. If you've not started working on the timely Buzzbee mount, then this week is your last chance to start, as you need to earn the full buff for 5 weeks on one character to get the mount. And there's only 5 weeks left now. So grab your 5 Time Walking Dungeon quest in Dornegal and knock out your Time Walking to get both a heroic piece of gear from the raid and the 30% XP buff for 3 hours. If you wanted to level any new characters, this buff is actually really good as it stacks with other XP buffs. So you basically have the same leveling potential as we did during the Celebration Anniversary event. You may be thinking that 3 hours is not that big of a deal, but each time you run another Time Walking dungeon, it actually resets the 3-hour timer. I just leveled a hunter just by questing, pet battling, and jumping in random Time Walking dungeon queue every couple hours. For anyone that really isn't interested in doing a lot of Time Walking dungeons, the buff does not count while you're not logged in. So you could do the bare minimum by choosing a character that you don't plan on playing and running 4 in a row to get the buff, then log into that character only once a week to do a single time walking dungeon that resets your buff timer and gives you the credit for the achievement. So that means you could potentially earn the mount only doing 8 time walking dungeons total, 4 in the first week, and then 1 a week until the end of the event. Besides the Turbulent Timeways event, we are also in week 2 out of 5 of Plunderstorm. I played a few times, and on the positive side of things, games are fast to get into, earning plunder is actually quite easy, and some new abilities do spice up the builds you find people running. Another good change is that enemies now respawn after some time, allowing you to potentially catch up on levels if you happen to have a bad start. I will say that on the other side of the coin, the rewards this time around, while much less grindy to earn, are kind of boring. It's hard to get excited for a bunch of recolored stuff, really. It's just not as exciting as new things. I was also kind of bummed out that I could not get more Trader's Tender. It's grayed out since the last time I played Plunderstorm. I purchased it already. It might not feel so bad if the Plunder Store UI was maybe a little bit better. It's just this really tiny window, and you kind of have to scroll past all the things you already own to see the stuff you can get. Just give me like a little checkbox so I can hide the things I already own. Besides the rewards feeling a little underwhelming, there have been some people complaining that the rewards are actually earned too quickly as well. I don't know where a good middle ground would be, because it seems like people won't be happy if it's too grindy and they won't be happy if it's too easy. After playing for around an hour, I was easily able to buy the entire new Plunderlord Transmog set, and I don't really think it's a bad thing that you can get all the rewards quickly. Especially for the collectors that really aren't interested in PvP and just want to get the rewards. But with the amount of plunder that we can earn, it really feels like there should maybe something else we can do with it. An obvious place that some people have suggested is maybe having the option to buy other in-game currencies with our extra plunder. But despite the couple of nitpicks, if you're into PvP, it's a fun game mode, so give it a shot. Last news I wanted to touch on was the announcement of the new mount earned with the recently announced Keystone Legend achievement in Mythic Plus. This achievement is earned by reaching a Mythic Plus rating of 2,850, which is about all 12s, I believe. And it rewards you with both this new mount as well as preventing your plus 12 keys from depleting after failure or decaying in the Great Vault. As far as mounts go, I think it's great. I really like having a goal to work towards with my team and having a reason to keep pushing and improving. Season 1 has been pretty tough, but we've made a lot of progress and it's been a ton of fun. And I think with all the talk going on with other WoW creators and event statements from Ian Hazakostas, there's going to be some changes for Season 2, so I'm hopeful that this will translate to my team having a slightly easier time when it comes to reaching our goals. As far as Keystone depletion goes, I think the other Keystone achievements could maybe benefit from having a similar depletion checkpoint. I don't know where it would make the best sense to place these. Maybe if you go by 4s, like +4 for Keystone Conqueror and +8 for Keystone Master. Either way, it'd be nice to get a little bit of depletion protection along the way to 2850. And now let's get into the weekly grind. The Delves bonus event is active this week and will offer increased rewards from Delves. The Call of the Scarab mini event is active from January 21st to January 24th, and it's really just kind of a short chance to relive the events from the opening of the Encourage Gate, in which the factions can compete to turn in items, and the faction that wins gets their flag hung over the gate for the year. And for PvP this week, we have the PvP Brawl A Wrathy Blizzard, which has reduced visibility and the lake is frozen over, so you can walk over it. And to wrap it all up, make sure to knock out any weekly chores that still provide rewards you care about. This week will give us our final raw singing citrine in the Siren Isle to upgrade our Circe Circlet for the final time and reach its max eye level potential. So make sure you knock that out. And that's our weekly grind, everyone. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. We've just passed 400 subscribers, so it'd be awesome to finally hit 1,000 and we could finally monetize. That way, I could afford to spend a little bit more time putting these videos together for you guys. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Catch you next week.